Welcome, welcome everybody to the Sunday prayer service. My name is Laura Massey from Two Feathers Medicine on the Andrew Bartsett's New Teachings platform. So following on from last Thursday's new teaching show on the solstice, on having a solstice fire on the ceremony and ritual, I've got a summer solstice teaching meditation prayer for you. So come with me now. We're going to my ceremonial prayer ground where I've set my sacred fire for solstice. Relax and sit back as we walk down through my garden, through the windy path, under the archway covered in roses, the sun setting. There's some lovely purple and orange hues in the sky behind us. And down the bottom of the garden is my sacred prayer ground. And here, where the wildflowers grow tall and willowy, there's a spot for my fire. So come and share these logs around the fire. Sit on a log. Let's have a solstice fire together. And I thank you all for joining me today, and know that if you're listening, you're part of this algorithm that makes up this solstice fire. And it's wonderful to have you here. And as ever, I'd just like to thank Andrew Bartsett for his teachings. For many of you will recognize his words and expressions that might be slightly rearranged in the way I express, but nonetheless, all the teachings are from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Okay. Our prayers for summer solstice. I invite you to my fire space now, my ceremonial ground. We're going to open sacred space by facing the north, the ancestors of the north. And we welcome the ancestors of the north to our sacred ceremonial solstice fire. So we call to the ancestors of the north, land of the frozen lakes, land of the white bison, land of the snow-capped mountains, land of winter, our grandfathers, land of wolf. We invite you, ancestors of the north, to share this summer solstice fire with us now in these sacred prayer grounds. And we turn now to the ancestors of the east, land of yellow, wisdom, illumination, and clarity, land of the rising sun, land of the condor and the golden eagle that fly wing to wing with great spirit. We ask you to welcome and open sacred space with us now. Turning to the south, we say, welcome, ancestors of the south, cradle board of the 7 future generations, land of the coyote and the mouse, of green fields and red flowers, land of my childhood, where I ran through fields of green grass and red flowers. Calm, open, sacred space with me here now. And we turn to the ancestors of the west, and we say, calm, ancestors of the west, we welcome you to this solstice fire. Land of dream time, land of the medicine wheel, land of brown bear and autumn, come to our sacred fire. And bending down, we put our hands on Earth Mother and we say, Earth Mother, come open sacred space with us now. Earth Mother and all your light denizens. We stand up and hold our arms up to the sky, and we call in Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, Father Sky, our cloud brothers and sisters, the thunder beings. We ask you all to come to this sacred fire today. And we ask our inner selves, our higher selves, to come to this sacred fire. So we've opened sacred space with the 7 directions. I also call in the 4 winds who carry the messages of peace. And I call in my good, true ancestors and my guides and my guardians and angels and my spiritual courts of equity all gather together in peace, in joy at this summer fire, the solstice fire. I greet you, friend fire, as I open this portal of sharing and co-creation. I step out of fraud time with these prayers into our natural earth time. For here we are not governed by a clock. In this sacred portal we've created, with your intense energy and my intense intention and focus and joy, we mix our energies in a no-time field where all expressions are in potential, and any not matching our frequency of the joy and celebration of solstice will be nullified by your deep white heat and sacred flames of orange, yellow, gold, blue and green as they dance before me, willing me to enter a sacred dance with the unseen. Friend fire, your wood comes from the great standing nations who, like us, create and co-create from grandfather sun. Just as trees are bonded with knowledge and wisdom, I too ask that of our relationship. And this wood, my prayer bundles of sacred sticks, have been carefully and lovingly gathered and prayed over many times, so you and I may communicate at the highest density levels. Trees connect to all of life, and with this wood burning brightly with your intense energy, I ask we too connect to all of life. As trees stand tall in sovereignty and equal co-creation between the rise and fall of the sun, I light you, my sacred solstice fire, to bring me these frequencies to our sacred space. With their wood that has held with their rooted sacred nourishment and neutral perspective, I acknowledge that this is available for me too, to choose and share with you now. The smoke rises high and free from my fire, dancing with me as I weave with the solstice energies around the fire, as a greeting, a joy, a prayer, a celebration. The smoke from my fire is also a greeting to the sky nations who share with us in equal co-creation. As I speak of things to release, the smoke thickens and surrounds me to transmute that density. Friend fire joins me as I share my victories, my losses, my needs, my dreams, my plans. What am I ready to let go of? And what seeds do I need to plant for my future to exist in the now? Stones of the land represent the stone people, and I've placed these around my fire to fortify this ceremony so I'm not entangled with others' energies. The stone people are the great wisdom keepers of earth, the record keepers here to share their wisdom with me and the fire in this no-time moment. I place on the fire a copper kettle belonging to my ancestors and fill it with water. This is for my ancestral tea. Logs around the fire are for my ancestors who come to join and sit to share the tea with me. I have prepared my prayer and ceremony ground next to their outdoor shrine. With extended prayer of joy, I invited those ancestors to this fire. A pot of water sits on the fire also, containing chicken bones and herbs from these grounds. Here can be found the revelation of joy and happiness with the grandmother's soup, my offerings to the lands as a soup balancing of ancestral energies. I raise my head and look deep into my solstice fire with these words. Aho, sacred solstice fire, fire of the great separation of densities, fire of renewal, fire of the peacemakers and peacekeepers co-creating the great dream of peace, fire of the 7 directions holding sacred space for me here now, fire of the ancestors past, present and future, fire of those who recognize they carry the mantle of responsibility for the 7 future generations, fire of my DNA lineage, those who are in equal energy exchange with me, who do not bring forward karmic debt, Fire of the fifth world of peace, the fire to awaken the sleeping rainbow warriors of peace. Fire of my connection to my dream world, to my ancestors in the Aurora Borealis. Fire of synchronicities with Earth's natural incarnation grid. Fire of sacred neutrality. Fire that anchors Father Sun within Earth Mother. Fire of the expression of self-love. Fire of sacred self-expression. Fire of heart-spaced awareness of unconditional love. Fire of sacred co-creation. Fire of high-frequency self-illumination. Fire of the frequency of future love. Fire of DNA wisdom. Fire of this sacred apex of light. Fire of transmutation and transcendence. Fire of all fires, I say to you these sacred words from my sacred heart, that I come in equal co-creation to share with you my story, my journey, my innermost thoughts. I, in this ever-present moment of now, call upon my sovereign soul frequency, my unique hindsight and foresight, my inimitable signature frequency, to connect to the sovereign fire elementals, sharing this frequency of no time, sharing this sacred neutral no time space that is co-created with the ancestors. So we have communion and union, equal co-creation, non-hierarchical order, non-competition, to celebrate our no time presence in fraud time, to anchor more light to Earth Mother, to help me heal, love, and balance my sacred heart self. I step forward in full heart-spaced awareness, in full sacred neutrality as the grandmother of the now, as a peacemaker and peacekeeper, a celestial medium of peace, a streaming light body nation of one, to connect my sovereign consciousness with these ancient masters of light, masters of alchemy, masters of transmutation, and masters of the great lessons and teachings, so we might co-create the energies of the fifth world of peace. I am acting from the truth of my sacred discipline and honor my awareness through self-learning, self-discovery, self-healing, and self-nurturing. For I am a being of the past, present, and future in my I am now heart, with a responsibility to this awareness. I bring in disciplined focus. I honor myself to stop self-defeating expressions and habits. I accept my galactic and universal citizenship and my universal rites of passage of being an ancestral medicine. Not becoming a martyr or a zealot, I co-create now as I say these sacred words to this, my solstice fire. All of the universe, my allies, the fire elementals of this sacred fire. I understand the expansion of awareness that is my continued responsibility for its upkeep, that I may reclaim spirit without the need for instant gratification. I share with you, friend fire, my archive of victories, and I build my archive of the new me. For we are in an ever-evolving world, and I recognize I must get out of the box of my own perception to embrace the fifth world of peace. I am fully cognizant of my responsibilities to my 7 future generations. I call on my solstice fire to show me how to not engage with the perverted energy and not to be in polarity. For I am a sacred neutral observer, here to assist seekers of knowledge, to understand self-healing and self-nurturing. It is my choice at any time to act or interact with the different forms of reality. It is my choice to be a signature frequency match for non-hierarchical order, interacting with the seen and unseen world, recognizing I'm not a being of separation that was imprinted upon me since birth. I'm a being who's going to pass on the torch of the I am to the next fetus. This is why we pray with our 7 future generations. And I, in this ever-present moment of now, connect myself to my 7 past and 7 future generations through the powerful portal of this, my sacred solstice fire, to say, I am dreaming the great dream of peace. It is my great work to dream my great dream of peace, so I may manifest as a peacemaker and peacekeeper. Friend fire, I ask you in these sacred moments I share with you now, to share with me the ancestral wisdoms of how I can hack my own hologram, so I limit my self-defeating programs. Share with me the wisdom of integrating my shadow, which is not here to be negative, but is here to point out traumas and issues that require resolution. Show me how to retask the shadow, to help me understand that self-love is my journey to make into the unknown and make it known, and the undone aspects done. Work with me now so I may be an auditor of my own source light. Friend fire, I ask you to connect me to Earth Mother so I may learn to service Earth in a way that does not step on another journey. Teach me to operate in my own sacred frequency at all times and to not take on the projections of others. Working in co-creation with you, friend fire, I weave magic into my manifestation practice and process. As each day I choose to act as an individual I am self-being in full awareness that I must be equal to my level of responsibility. To say no to any reality that wants to pull me away from my sacred moments. I clear out all creations of internal demands that want to distract me from being focused on my sacred way of living. I do the inner work to see all aspects of myself that are shadow and light, all avenues of the perception of the experience which lead to superluminal thinking, faster than light thinking, akin to knowingness. Friend fire, burn away anything blocking me from these super highways of wisdom that can flow fast and free through me when I step back from being in my own way. Co-create with me now new pathways that are dedicated only to this purpose as an I am present sacred neutral observer. Show me how to connect my mind and spirit to create and use these new neural pathways as part of ceremony and prayer. Activating new wisdom in the DNA, for I'm ready to use it to grow as an ever-evolving being of light. Fire, teach me to trust in myself to activate this new technique that was given to me at birth as rites of passage, so I may have true separation of density as a superluminal thinking is a choice point to be part of the separation of densities. Friend fire, elementals of the great flames that dance this sacred dance of the separation of densities, help me to create and build my own on-ramp, my own sacred pathway, an entrance into superluminal thinking, because it is in those very words that capture the essence of Grandfather Sun, the emanation of light, the brightness of my own sacred fire. In my own sacred discipline, I get out of my own way, get out of chemical processing to launch me into this faster than light thinking, this immediate downloading of codes, activating of DNA wisdom, of inner knowingness, combined and co-creating with my I am technology in my neural pathways, giving me the keys to infinite consciousness. For it is consciousness in the experience that will send me on to seek greater knowledge and wisdom in heart-spaced awareness. Fire is energized by my words. It spits and hisses with the bubbling spills of the ancestral soup and the kettle water. Steam rises and mingles with the smoke, bathing me in different elemental cleansing, taking my message to the Sky Nation, our cloud brothers and sisters, our galactic cousins of the great Dreamtime awakening and remembering. Fire offers so many modes of clearing, transmuting, integrating, and consolidating. I am humbled by its ferocity and respectful of its power, awed by its beauty and aliveness as it asks me to step up and co-create as masters at play. I find a rubbing alcohol-soaked salt crystal-filled old tin and safely place it near the fire and light it. Immediately, a bright blue flame extends along the side of the flames of the fire. Friend Spirit Fire is here to share in the joy and playfulness, the alchemy and inventiveness, the creativity spark that fire ignites. I find some face paints to apply and become the painted face of self-expression as I joyfully dance with the fire. With this high, joyous frequency, I say to Friend Fire, I will not allow anything into my journey that is negative for the greater good of my life. It is awareness and responsibility to myself to know what things are detrimental to my long-term goals. As I open my soul signature frequency to the portal of Grandfather Fire, I ask you to bring me my unique signature frequency teaching. At this time of exhilaration, abundance, and fertility, to help me be fertile with my own energies and to take the years of self-illumination and self-cultivation and use that energy to plant seeds of growth and renewal of my personal journey, so that the next fire, when I cultivate my energy, it is highly enriched with that density that is available to me. The fire's tall flames reach higher and higher as I share these words born from an ever-evolving soul, finding exquisiteness in my DNA sin suit as it manifests great potency, fueling my inner and outer voice. A new fieriness filled with the frequencies of these words of prayer has banished all meekness I once had. Fire has fueled my belly. My joy at this freedom is amplified by the fire's acknowledgement of who I am and what I am. And I tell Friend Fire why I dream this dream, so all beings may know union, communion, so all beings may know peace. I dream this dream because my ancestors dreamed it before me and have given me the tools and skill sets in my DNA to keep dreaming it. We all share this great dream of peace. Our ancestors paved the way with their victories, their claims of sovereignty, their rites of passage, their counting coups. I look up from the depths of the flames to see many ancestors before me sat around the fire. They greet me with a huge wave of love that I feel deep into my bones. I prepare the tea and place a few cups on the logs. I sit to share tea and these words. It is my greatest honor and joy to sit with you now, my ancestors. So many things we share. I feel your love and I share mine, for always I carry you in my very heart. I am honored to share this no-time moment with you. I thank you for your lives, for your journeys, all that you went through, the tears of grief and joy, your fortitude so I may exist in the now, so I continue our great work for peace. Grandfather Fire lights our path. Join me, ancestors, on my red road walk alongside your blue road walk, so we may co-create seen and unseen worlds to create what is needed for peace. I take the pot of grandmother's soup and offer it to the land in small cups in all the corners and the entrances. I have a small cup for myself and my ancestors. It tastes like the best soup I've ever tasted. The fire has started to quell and calm. I carefully turn the wood with my fire stick so the night air might move freely beneath the flames. The fire has settled into a more peaceful stage and ticks and crackles. The shadows of the flames dance across the softly lit prayer ground. I sit back in peace and acknowledgement, the time for listening and watching the fire return its wisdom. So much is to be seen and heard in the flames, the burnt wood, the dance of the smoke, the sounds. Grandfather Fire speaks his wisdom to me. The dancing and the prayers, the movement and action of my presence now become still and restful. It's a time of reflection, of softening. The energies settle. I hear the rustling of the wind through the trees surrounding me, the gentle bubbling of the soup. Great peace fills my heart. For many hours I may sit or lie in this state of peace alongside my fire, listening to the sounds of the night. I may read or write or draw. It's a recreational phase and an outlet of all the combined energies produced. Words are not required here, although I might chat lightly to the fire as a friend about my everyday life. The darkening of the night sky reveals our brother and sister planets and stars. The sun has finally gone to rest after its longest day. A faint tinge of sadness crosses my heart that from now on the days grow shorter, but the fire inside will never go out. That passion spark I was born with will be forever glowing and burning more intensely, both in honor of myself and my ancestors. My final co-creation at this fire is to close this sacred space. Friend fire has faded to flickering embers that even friend wind can't raise. I know it's safe to leave as I thank you, fire, for your co-creation, your wisdom, your gift of the solstice as grandfather sun. I thank the 7 directions of north, of south, of east, of west, of above, of below, of within. I thank those 4 winds, the messengers of peace. I thank the ancestors, and I close this sacred space. Not until then will I turn my back on the fire, and that's only will forever be glowing, and will go to bed so I may dream my great dream of peace, potent with the energies of my solstice fire. Aho.